Well, maybe you can answer the
Okay,
question right
sure,
away.
sure.
So
Yeah.
maybe we'll shorten that.
That one, yes, that may be better.
So, I mean, they're caged the entire while, and it's been going on for a lot of months now, and it's only natural that after some time they excrete inside, they urinate inside, they eat
Dogs?
inside. Dogs, two dogs inside puppies.
She knows that case. I think we need to.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's the case
The one on
Meera
FB.
just discussed.
So, it's only natural that the place starts stinking, and there are a lot of flies around there, and there is a daily bread, a cafe, which is, I mean, just next to that in a bank, and people come in and come out every day. So, if nothing else has worked, then with a case where, you know, the smell and flies, it's basically a nuisance to so many
Absolutely.
people.
Oh, absolutely. Use the public nuisance provision. I'm just going to come to that.
No,
Okay?
but however, in this case, which is the whole point. The point is they just don't put the dog somewhere else. The
You
situation,
see,
the condition of the dogs, we know
therefore,
that.
that may be better.
No, can we confiscate or retrieve the dog in some way? I mean, those are.
You know,
how do you?
we
make that
are
process?
not an SPCA. That is something that an SPCA can do. Guys, you are not an SPCA, but you know there is other stuff that you can do. What we've started doing is a whole lot of us get together and go to the place. Go as a group.
What we're dealing with is politicians, people with clout. These are gundas actually.
Well,
These guys have threatened us. They said they'll actually stone us if we go there. And, you know,
okay, then I'll tell you what we need to do. This is something that I've been thinking about.
They told me that
Yes.
they would stone them.
Corporators, brother-in-law.
I must, okay, then let me share a case with you. See, you know, in golf links, in Delhi, there is this very posh colony, golf links, and the Zaveris, the jewelers, they have this palatial mansion with huge walls and a huge gate and all. And one of the animal feeders there came to know that they have a German Shepherd that has been living in a cage in a garden all his life. Come sun, come rain, come whatever. Okay? Now see, how we worked on that was, that animal feeder, she's a lady called Veena Balwant, a man called Brigadier Subdyal, who, amazing person, you know, was in the Home Ministry also, and what we did was, we first sent a notice. Now that's something I routinely do. I keep sending notices to people. I sometimes send them as AWBI, I sometimes send them as SPCA, I sometimes send them as myself. And now what I was thinking was that perhaps, you know, as Voice of Stray Dogs, I can send them as your in-house lawyer. Okay, so what we do is, yeah. So what we do is, let's start with that. Yeah. So let's start with that. This politician fellow. Also try and find out if some of the neighbors are as sickened as are you. And then, see, sometimes one has to put up with the threats. And if you're a larger number of people, it's easier. And if you manage to get, you know, a bit of support from the neighbors also. Okay, first try and talk to the guy. I mean, a whole lot of you go together and say, see, this is something, we are going to bring it into the public domain. This is something that we're going to be doing. We are also, you and I and all of us know that the police cannot take cognizance of the animal cruelty case in this case, but they could perhaps take cognizance of, you know, a public nuisance issue. But for that, you know, they will say, what is your locus? To which you will, that's why I say try and get some neighbors enrolled into this.
Unfortunately, this is
the
a
media.
Take the media, take the media. This is something Naina does to great advantage.
I know you know what
which
you
is
need to
built
do.
by these people. They've rented out space to offices, to a bank, to a daily bread outlet. They live on the top floor.
People are afraid. People are afraid to complain against us.
I mean, they went out to terrorize the neighborhood.
That guy is going to lose his livelihood.
He doesn't have any immediate neighbor who is
He has no neighbors.
bothered by it.
The building, the entire, it's a commercial building that belongs to.
We'll talk about this in brief when it comes to activism.
Okay, then I
Because
guess you
activism
give your
sometimes
perspective.
skirts around the law. It uses the law, but also skirts very gently around the law. So, and sometimes not so gently. So we will talk about it when it comes to that.
And I mean, we've just got to bring everything to play, anything that we can use, and you know, achieve the objective. Just make ourselves such a nuisance for the man that he decides that the dogs need to move out. the dogs would probably be better out.
Basically, your nuisance value should be higher than his need to do what he's doing.
That's right. That's right.
The thing is,
We'll discuss.
yeah.
Does that also include vehicles, I mean, running over laws, speeding vehicles?
Yeah. For speeding vehicles, in fact, recently there was a case in which what we've done is we've used the rash and negligent driving provision and used 428 and used 11. So just kind of mix and match. Yes. Okay. Now, see, this is something that everybody needs to be, anybody who's an activist and especially feeding stray dogs needs to be very mindful of this provision, because this is something that your neighbors and your RWAs and your housing societies and the police will constantly try to use against you. But there's an answer to this, and there are 2 court cases. Okay.
289.
Yes, 289. Now this I'm going to read out. Negligent conduct with respect to animal. Whoever knowingly or negligently omits to take such order with any animal in his possession as is sufficient to guard against any probable danger to human life or any probable danger of grievous hurt from such animal shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine, or with fine which may extend to 1,000 rupees, or with both. And the offence is cognizable. The police can take cognizance if somebody complains against you. And you will come across a lot of cases that are written off, but you will notice that they are pet dog cases. You see, where somebody's dog bites somebody else, the person who's been bitten uses 289 and the cops come in and register an FIR under 289. Okay. Now see, yes, for pet dog owners this is dangerous. You need to be mindful of your pets. We all need to be responsible, for our pets. And also, if you feel that somebody is, in fact, I recently dealt with a case, Gurgaon, a man contacted me. His neighbor was constantly provoking his pet, and he says if he barks or if he tries to lunge at him, then he'll use this against me, 289. Of course, what we did was we sent him a notice, so that worked. It kind of, Anyways, so for pet dogs, yes, you need to be very, very careful, how you deal with your pets. But with strays, what do we say? See, the latest thing in Delhi, in fact, where I stay also, our RWA was trying very hard. They said, see, if you're feeding, you've got to be responsible. And that is what the law also envisages. To which our answer was, yes, we are responsible. We will ensure that the animal is vaccinated. ABC, feeding facilitates ABC. I mean, the animal becomes less suspicious. We will get him, her sterilized, whatever. But beyond that, the animal is a free roaming animal.
Chasing
And
after cars, we are not responsible for that.
yes, you see, the thing is, now see, my dog Paltu, for instance, has this thing about, okay, chasing after cars. He used to chase people also. Now see, the fact that I was feeding him, what I told people was that, see, now that I'm feeding him, he listens to me. He listens to me. So what we do is, a couple of times when he tried to do that, I told everybody who works at my house, bahar jaake, give him a slap. So that is something he stopped completely. He knows the community around, the community knows him. He's living happily ever after outside my house. So yes, he knows that I am going to, So, you see, yes, for cars we are not responsible. After all, you have road rage. You have very irresponsible driving. I mean, are we responsible really? We've just got to kind of, find our way. Likewise, you have animals here, you have open garbage, so you have dogs, you don't have enough ABC, so you have dogs, and this is something they do, so what? See, you can't be held responsible for a dog that is free roaming merely because you are kind of, feeding the dog. Somebody may be provoking him for all you know. He may be, which is what usually happens. So that is something we contested with the RWA. And anyways, RWAs assume so much power and they have none really. In law, they are just a service body. They can't sort of, they can't legislate, they can't lay down rules and all. So, 289 was recognized by the Punjab and Haryana High Court that people who are tending to stray dogs cannot be held liable under 280. This is on the Voice of Stray Dogs website, the case. Let's just go down. Yeah. See, here. I've given the links, and when Rakesh uploads this, there is this Sonia Rogers case, this lady who used to feed at Gurgaon. And she was really terrorized by her neighbors, and when she tried to lodge a complaint, the cops lodged an FIR against her under 289. They said, no, you are the one. Your conduct is negligent. The animals are misbehaving with, the human population around. So she went to the High Court. The High Court for Gurgaon is Punjab and Haryana. The Punjab and Haryana High Court at Chandigarh. She filed what is known as a 482 petition for quashing of the FIR that was registered against her. And the Punjab and Haryana High Court upheld her right to feed the strays and said, feeding stray dogs, she's doing what the state should be doing. Can't be held liable under 289. So this you will find on the website. And then let's just go down. Just click on the link and you go to this. And okay, here, this was on the Voice of Stray Dogs Facebook page. Recently, there were these guys these Thane SPCA volunteers who used to feed dogs, who were handcuffed by the police and paraded at night one day because they were feeding dogs. And of course they lodged a complaint and all. And not only was the FIR against them, I don't know if there was an FIR, but what the court did was, the court said that there is nothing wrong that they did, and the court also specifically stated there is nothing wrong with feeding strays. So these are two, cases that this is, one of them is on the Facebook page and the other one you will find on the website. So 289 is something that you need to be mindful of, and now I come to criminal intimidation. See, that's something that I was just speaking of. People can't go about threatening you. Forget that it's an animal issue. You are not doing anything that is contrary to the law. People can't come and say, don't do this, or raise their voices or raise their hands or whatever. In any complaint that you lodge, you must say you were threatened. Because that's what usually happens. You must say you were
threatened. Better if a woman is threatened.
Yes, why not?
If you're defending yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So say you were, because when it comes to the dogs, I use anything.
Even modesty.
Or anything. So, anyways, so this is a provision that you can use. You see, the only thing is criminal intimidation is non-cognizable. So you would have to file a complaint before the magistrate. But there are other provisions. You see, grievous hurt, simple hurt, just a threat. Go to the cops and, say, no, you have to investigate, I was threatened with hurt. All of that is cognizable. That is cognizable. In some cases, it may be a good idea to file a criminal intimidation case and get a finding against the person, where the threat is really bad. Because the punishment provided for, which is provided in 506, is pretty bad. So where it is a case of tremendous threat happening, tremendous intimidation happening, it may be a good idea to go to court. See, that's a part of activism. You use whatever you can, if this is the path one has chosen. Yes?
Does it require witnesses once you file for these intimidation cases?
It is always
Let
better.
me take a scenario normally.
Yes.
In these situations,
Yes.
the neighborhood is always hostile
Yes.
towards the person feeding. So even if one particular family is actually intimidating you,
Yes.
and you file a complaint, the others
Yes.
are not going to second you.
Okay, record the voice. Do it on your phone. Take a snap of somebody's raised hand or something. Just kind of think on your toes. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy is, he says this building is his.
Mm.
So when we go anywhere next to the building, the cage is his, and we touch it. Would it be trespassing of property? Would
Yes,
he would
yes,
So
it
he
would
said
be.
he could use that.
So therefore, do not touch the cage. Go to meet him first. Listen, go to meet him first. Now go in a larger group. Give a complaint in writing to the police. Just say you can just say for information, send it by post. If the police refuses to receive it, send it by post, by registered. Yes.
The Priya Gundana's case, we send out a
Yeah. Now see, yes, if there are a lot of you forcing an entry, he may try to use the criminal trespass. Now you be careful, go in a group and all of you say no, it wasn't criminal trespass. Again, it works both ways. I mean, this side you have the numbers. Say no, it wasn't criminal trespass. He called us in. You know, it's his word against. Everybody say no, he called us in. It's his word against. Hum andar aa jaye kya? Somebody recorded. He says, yes, what is it? Somebody recorded. Do it like that. In difficult cases, I mean, you have to take, measures like that. So, okay, so criminal intimidation, the only place where criminal intimidation is cognizable is UP. I didn't know. I was studying for this conference and that's when I came to know. So I'm going to use it majorly at
They have a record.
Huh?
They have a record. I think.
I'm going to use it majorly at Noida. Good. Let's do that. Punishment for criminal intimidation, imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 2 years, or with fine, or with both, and then for, where people tell you they're going to kill you. If threat be to cause death or grievous hurt, etc., and if the threat be to cause death or grievous hurt, or to cause destruction of any property by fire, or to cause an offence punishable with death or imprisonment for life, or with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 7 years, or to impute unchastity to a woman, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 7 years, or with fine, or with both. So not a bad idea to use something like this. You see, even where an offence is non-cognizable, give it in writing to, see, it is, when the cop asks you what section, you tell him it's for you to check out. Actually, he's supposed to do it. Why we tell him is to facilitate the registration of FIR. Otherwise, you tell him it's for you to check out. And impute everything. He tried to criminally intimidate me. He raised his hand. Which is what usually happens also. It's not so untrue.